Hi crafters, this is Crafty Savvy and I'm here today to share a journal with you that I've been working on. I'm calling it my vintage style envelope flip book. My son and his girlfriend helped me name it because I didn't know what to call it, and I'll show you why I called it an envelope flip book in just a minute when we get inside. So the first part of that, the envelope part, came from the way that I created the cover. It's not your typical cover in the way that we open a book. So the natural way that we open a book and we flip the pages going sideways. The pages inside are actually flipping up, and you're able to view the pages the right way, looking at it the right way like this, and also once you flip the page up, everything is facing the right way as well. So, but the style of the cover reminded me of an envelope, and so the flap is here, it will lift up. The sewing, the binding is actually on the top. So it's a flap, and this is the way the cover looks. This is the front. I used that vintage styled silk fabric that I found for a whopping $1.49 at the thrift shop, and I just had to use it. Not gonna lie, it wasn't the easiest to work with because it likes to fray a bit, but I did some sewing around the edges to kind of keep it all intact. I used some vintage laces. On the front, I hung a tassel. Tracy Fox just recently put up a very sort of easy tutorial to follow. I know lots of people have been doing these, but it's her take using a binder clip, or we call them bulldog clips here, but I chose to use a bulb pin, or Tim Holtz calls them loop pins for mine. I just wanted something a little bit more delicate and not so noticeable, so I hung it from the front actually this time. So I have vintage lace here, and I just put some green silk ribbon through it there, and I used some really pretty bling. I got these at my dollar store for $2. Oh, sorry about that glare. And so that's what those look like, and they're so pretty. They're heavy and you can cut them apart. So I got that style, that style. Those are sort of in the pearl, mother of pearls color, and these ones. So I wanted to show you those. So I just cut them up and put those on the front. It's plain. Again, I did not put a cover, like a title or a photo or anything, because this fabric is phenomenal just the way it is. Did not have the heart to cover it up. And that's the back. So it's a chunky little thing. Yeah. So let me take you inside and show you how this works. I'll just untie this. Okay, so I wish I was able to get this all in the camera, but so if you open up the top and open it right up, you can see just how long it is. Oh, I guess I should have told you the size. But I wanted to try something different, come up with something different and make it my own. So this is about, let's call it 8 by 6. And when you open it, I have to do some calculations here. So it's about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and about 18 and 3/4 inches long when it's completely open. So I just put some lace in there. I probably had to do some connecting with fabric, so I covered it up with that. And so, like I said, I put the attach the signature to the top. I haven't decided if I'm going to put something there yet, but I might. So how this journal works is that everything flips up. And so whatever you have on your page here, you can see obviously going the right way. And I've tucked things in and used a lot of paper clips and made it so that nothing falls out when you're flipping the pages. And because this one now essentially will be upside down when I flip it. So, so this is my first page. I just created a coffee stain pocket and did a little layering there with some scrap fabrics. And there's a little tag in there. That's on some ledger paper, and I edged it with some bias tape and put a little tab on there. So when you flip it up, the back page of that has a pocket on it, and everything's in there securely. It's being held down with a paper clip, so you won't lose anything. And so that's just that's a pocket made from the same material, and I just have some ephemera in there. And this is one of my paper clips that I made recently. That just clips on there and goes in there. And then this page, I just did some stamping. I made a pocket out of a tea bag filter. That's just some of the material there hanging off the string. Actually, that's one of the leaves from the trim here. I just did some layering with some scraps that I had. Vintage button and some ephemera. Put it in there. And then on the flip side of that, I have a little butterfly, Tim Holtz. I believe that's Tim Holtz. Some ephemera tucked in there. And in order for this one not to fall out, I just put a vintage button and as a little tuck, so you could remove this. And there's a doily there. And then use it to secure your ephemera there. And then this is some vintage computer paper that I had. I made a pocket out of it, so there's some lace trim there. And in this one I have, I made an envelope out of this beautiful paper and a journaling card to go with it. Whoops. That goes in there. And left that one blank for journaling. And then on this page I have, this is one of my fabric paper clips. So there's a lot going on here. So I just made a fabric paper clip with that. They're really quite beautiful. And then there's a tag. Oops. And that's an old doily that I had. And then there's a large glassine bag here. Oh, that's something else I want to tell you guys. I went to a garage sale last weekend and I got, someone had a stamp collection going, and I didn't want all the stuff because I sort of have a stamp collection of my own. But they had in a box, this entire bag is filled with the envelopes, the glassine envelopes that all the stamps come in. And there's like a million sizes. I mean, it just goes all the way up from here. So they get bigger as they go, right up to almost like an, I'd like to say 8.5 by 11 size. So almost like a full sheet of paper. So I was very grateful to find that bag of stuff. So I got that, and I got a whole bunch of vintage books that I'm dying to show you guys. So maybe next video. Yeah, really happy. I think I paid $10 for everything. So anyway, So I took the glassine bag and I just folded it in half. So the other half is on the back of this page. And inside is some ephemera. This is just from a paper pad that I had. Cut it all up. So that goes in there. And then, so on the flip side of that, I just have some more ephemera that I had. Some vintage copies of some ephemera. And then inside the bag is just some more ephemera that I backed on some paper. So that goes in there. And then on this page, I put lines for journaling. I attached a ticket. I used some bias tape. Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you, there's bias tape on here too. And then I just tuck some ephemera in there. There's some, vintage lace. And then on that side, I just left some lines for journaling. And then on this one, I just have a little flap of ledger paper. I trimmed it off with some lace there. And then when you flip it over on this side, I just attached a large tag to it. And a little paper clip that I made with some lace. And then there's some music paper here, and I just attached a little element that I made there. Some lace trim. I left that side blank. And then on this page, I have a paper clip. Okay, so I just use a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera and I just put a clip on it. It's not pretty, but it works. And I have a little envelope here. I should probably make a tag for that. I showed you guys how to make those in a previous video. That's just with dictionary page. And then I have some writing paper, some coffee stained ledger paper, and some room to write on there. And I just attached some lace to it here. And then on the flip side of that is just, I just tucked that paper. I just used it like this and folded it onto here. And I'm using this paper clip to hold it all together. Just like that. Okay. And then on this page, I just attached some lace. There is, this is some very old graph paper that I had. And this is some Tim Holtz stuff and a little Tim Holtz baby who has a big green blob on her nose. I don't know why. I think it's just in the printing. And she's just sitting on the postcard there, and I just have this postcard and tucked it inside. And the back side is blank. This is some very old ledger paper in yellow, and I coffee stained it, and I love the way that looks. I just put a little tab of scrap paper that I had here with a staple, and you can tuck something in that little pocket. And then on this page, oops, I forgot to do something with my strings. I'll have to fix that. On this side, I just did some stamping. This is one of the most recent tags that I made with a doily and a vintage button. Some lace trim, and inside is just a little journaling booklet that I made. And that tucks in there. And on the flip side of that, there's some lace there. Is just one of my envelopes that I just showed you guys how to make with some embossing. There's a tag there ready to use. I believe there's extra paper inside, and that's just a paper clip that I made with some ephemera attached to it. So that just goes on there. Some journaling lines. There's just a little flag there. And then on this page, I just have a clip that I made. There. That's just some writing paper, extra writing paper. There's a little envelope that you can use. So I kind of just, you know, clipped everything down so that you can move all of this stuff anywhere you want within the journal, use it on another journal, put it wherever you want, because it is quite thick and it might be difficult to write with all of this stuff. So that's why I made it so that you could remove whatever you wanted. And so that's just some ephemera that I had. And I just used the rest of the paper to fold onto the other side. Actually, I kind of clipped two papers together there with the clip. Just like that. So that this page would look pretty too. Just some vintage music paper that I took a copy of. And there's that clip that I just showed you. And then on this page, I have another little half page, so it's just a little flag. I just attached some extra ledger writing paper there. And on this side is, and it's just being held down with a clip. This is some old doily that I used for the top of the tag. And I think that's Tim Holtz. So a lot of places for journaling. Here again, I just made lines and edged the bottom with, excuse me, with some doily trim that I cut up. There's some more lines with some vintage buttons I attached. And then on this page, I have another glassine bag, stamp bag. That I just folded over so it goes around to the other side, and there's just some ephemera in there from a paper pad. And on the reverse of that, there's some bias tape there. Is the clip I made to hold it closed. There's just some extra writing paper in there and a pretty little tag. Now, did I have that on this side? Yeah, just like that. That's the back of, I just left it blank because it was so pretty. And then when you flip it over, it's just another pocket made out of that computer paper. And inside is some ephemera. And just a little snippet that I sewed together. Some Tim Holtz little girls on there. And there's like a little pocket in here. That's just some ephemera that I had that fit in there. We're getting there, guys. And then on this page is another one of my tags that I just used a paper clip to hold it down. And oh, that's a little teeny little paper clip. There's just some extra writing paper in there. That's a really old vintage button that I got on there. That's the back. And then the last page, I sewed in another pocket. So beautiful. And inside of there, I just attached some old ephemera, some writing paper. This is some old banking pages that I just copied onto tracing paper. So I put that that in there, and an envelope that I made. And tuck that in there. And that's it. That's the reverse of that. Excuse me, that's just some bias tape there. And that's the trim. And that's it, you guys. So I was very excited about this. I liked kind of working on something different. Wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I really like it. It's different. So that's it, you guys. That's just a little tour of my vintage style envelope flip book. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. And I had a really good time making it. It was something different and it got me sort of thinking. And yeah, it was quite enjoyable to try to do something a little out of my comfort zone and create something new. So that's it. There you go, you guys. So I hope you're all well, and I will be back hopefully soon with some more of my other journals using those carpet sample covers. And we will see you guys then, okay? Take care, you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.